it. I will make it. Even when there's no one by my side, I will make it. I will make it. Don't care what they say, I won't lose my faith, 'cause the sun will rise to the brighter day. If I trust my heart to be my guide, I will make it. I will make it.
Oh, there we go. Wow. I cannot believe it's been a year that I worked on the launch and had so many amazing people that were a part of it. I'm excited to jump in and share this little surprise a year later and things that are going on. And who else can I bring on than the amazing Cat Feliciano, who has been in my life and in my journey for quite some time. And we have a great connection in doing some great and fun things like this episode today. Without further ado, let me bring in Cat. Hold on. Cat.
Hi.
How are you? Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is so exciting. I love that video. It inspires me every time. It's so pumped.
And also the music. I don't know how I put the two together, but I just get inspired every single time I see it as well, because the music just gets you all riled up and ready for more.
It sure does. Just the whole visual, the sound, everything. I love it. That's it.
So Cat Feliciano is an event planner. She's an amazing entrepreneur. Let me back up. She's an amazing entrepreneur. She does quite a bit. She was one of my students and now colleagues. So that is amazing. I love when I can say, you were my student, but now my colleague. So that's awesome. She also worked with Lifetime Events by Jacqueline for a bit. And still here and there, we collaborate and we do quite a bit. She is very inspirational to me. I admire what she does and how she moves forward with life and everything that she sets her mind to. I'm going to let Kat just jump in and say a little bit about herself, and then I'll come back on and just say a few other words.
I mean, what do I say to follow that? You just made me so emotional. I'm here trying to hold back tears. That was beautiful. Our connection, our friendship, working together, everything. I'm so grateful for that. I had no idea when I signed up for that class that it would have such an impact on my life. Meeting you, learning from you, getting to just know you. So, gosh, thank you for everything you said. Thank you for being in my life.
Throughout the conversation today, the interview, I won't call it an interview, I'll call it a conversation, a chat and a get to know. What are my thoughts and going back to the book.
A little bit into that brilliance you have in there. I want to understand.
And that's why I needed Kat, because she knows I won't call myself brilliant, but I just have a knowledge that I want to share. So without further ado, we'll start our chat, and I'll let Kat take it away.
You're naturally an educator. Everyone who's watching this knows that just from hearing you speak. You've mentored and you've educated so many people in the event planning industry over the years through classroom, through speaking engagements. So I want to know, what inspired you to just take a smidge of that knowledge and put it into a book?
Wow. I think it was a process of becoming an educator. That first was a shock, because even though I've always shared knowledge in my life in anything that I did, becoming an educator was not in my books. So all that really made me think, wow, I need to put something together. And not really understanding that the journey and the path that I had was already in the writing. So that's pretty much where it started, and what really motivated me to put something together.
Beautiful. Okay. So, with all that experience that you have and all that knowledge, how did you decide what to put in the book and what to leave out?
The book was being written as I was taking my journey without me knowing that these are the steps that you need to take. So basically, if I backtrack, I could have easily written a book for basic wedding and event planning. But I figured that's not for me because that's already being done.
Mhm.
Why redo something that's being done? And there are great platforms that have great, amazing courses that people are able to gain knowledge that way. It was something that I felt was needed based on what I haven't seen. So there was nothing that I removed.
Okay.
If that there was one more piece that was added, which was the very last chapter, based on an experience that I had. So the crater effect, which was the last chapter, that was the only thing that was added. So nothing was deleted.
Great. Well, I love that because I feel like your book was not the typical step by step, here's what you have to do. It felt like it came from a deeper place, something that was trying to get under the layers of this industry and give you a better feel for things. So I love the way that you put that out there and how you managed to get that across through the book. You did great. Okay, so what part of the book, if any, was the most difficult for you to write?
Good question. I go back to the journey. It was being written. So there wasn't really such a difficult chapter. The only chapter that I would say took a little longer was the fourth industrial revolution, is so much. So I had to pick and choose within that chapter what I wanted to share at the moment, and then knowing how to expand it at a later time in a different platform.
So can you share how long it took you to write this book?
It took, again, it being a journey,
Right.
me not knowing that I was going to put all that in a book. Just the book itself, when I got my aha moment, I'm going to write a book, it took about 5 years.
Okay.
It's a small book that I felt like I could have done this in like a year, but life gets in the way and certain things and business and work, et cetera, et cetera. So about 5 years.
Okay. Um, Now, in those 5 years, you obviously still worked, still managed your personal life, traveled. How did you fit that in? I know that it's from the journey, but you still had a pause every so often
Yes.
to get those words on paper. So, how did you manage that?
Shortly after the aha moment that I was going to start writing, I literally put down the outline first, and then I started with summaries of each one. Then I put it to the side and I didn't touch it for like a good year or so. And then again, I got this energy, and then I started saying, okay, I need to put this, ahead and in the schedule. So I started scheduling it. It helped me focus a bit better. I was almost done with it, and this was a year before the pandemic. What was that? 2019, uh, November of 2019. I met, what was it? A colleague, and I had not mentioned the book much to anyone. So I met a colleague who I cherish very dearly, Lois Pierce, and we were at an ABC conference. And when we just walked, like she was already in, we were at one of the Sandals resorts, so we had our break, and she was at the beach already getting some rest time, and I was just walking down the beach, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, is this seat taken? And come to find out that, we chatted more and all that, and she was talking about doing copyright and different things and all that. It's like, copyright. Oh my gosh, I need that. I need that. So who better? I trusted her. I knew her, her experience was vast. And I said, this is an opportunity and this is God driven. I took it as a sign that God is telling me it's time. And so that really put more focus and push on it. So I was able to put myself on a really strict timer now. And now there was like, okay, now there's attention. Now I have a directive. I have somebody who I have to turn this in over to. And when I did that, it became more real and more like, now I have to put a schedule together of deadlines and times. I want this out by this time, etc. So I already had my schedule before the pandemic. And once the pandemic hit, it was like, it gave me a little bit more time to finish the copyright piece. And that was pretty much it. But it was within that time frame.
Okay. Has writing this book changed the way you see yourself at all?
It hasn't changed the way I see myself. It just has given me more motivation to share more, the comments that I receive back from people. And even in my day-to-day and working with people and all that, just I was able to find my purpose. When you understand your purpose, you understand your mission in life. And in life, it could be personal and in business. And I found my purpose in personal and business, that it connects. And my purpose became real after that book. It became even more intensely real. So I have so much more to offer. And those are the things I found out more, that I have the capacity and the platforms to offer what needs to be shared and continue my life living in that purpose.
Beautiful. I love it. I'm looking forward to whatever else you have going on. So next thing I want to know, from your book, let's talk about the 3 P's: passion, persistence, and patience. Now, how did you determine that these were key for someone to know that event planning is the right path for them? And this is a 2-part question. Are they equally important, or can someone who has 2 of the 3, let's say, be able to make it in this industry?
The passion, persistence, and patience really stems from who I am and what I found helps and works. Do you need all 3? No. But I have found an important value to have all 3. So should you say that you shouldn't start the business or continue the business if you just have one? No, it's just, I want people to understand that you need to understand yourself before you proceed. You need to understand what your values are. Why passion? In anything you do in life, you have to have passion in anything you do. So if you don't have, that's that passion, the drive, that's the drive, right? So if you don't have the passion to do event planning, but you have the passion to design, you have to understand what's more important, right? You have to understand what's going to make you happier at the end of the day, because I'm sure you know, right? And I'm sure many of you who are listening, who are an event planner, in event planning and doing, in the industry, the long hours and all that stuff, that adds up. That takes a toll. So you have to have a passion to keep moving, to keep driving you throughout your journey. So without that, what do you have? So if out of the 3, I would say passion is like you have to have that's not even
Agreed.
a choice. You have to have that. Now, persistence, again, it's a connection with that drive. sometimes throughout that journey, you come across obstacles that, doors shut, windows shut. Oh my gosh, I don't think I'm too good. I don't think that I can do this anymore. Oh, those people are better. Why am I doing this? If you got a calling to be an event planner, wedding designer, event designer, whatever it is in the industry, if you have that passion, if you have that drive, persisting, even if it's not in this industry, in anything you do, you need to be persistent, because if you know that this is for you, then persisting, pushing through whatever obstacles needs to happen, because then every door is going to shut and you're not going to find the strength to find an open door or to push that open door, that closed door, right? Persistent helps you move past obstacle. Doesn't mean that I haven't fallen and I have my moments of not wanting to get up. No, it means that if I'm here, I've pushed myself every single time an obstacle came through. That's why I'm still here. Over 20 years of being in the event industry, an event planner, I had to push myself through so many obstacles. And it's that passion, that drive that helps me push ahead. Then there's the patience. Now, this one, I have to say, from what I've heard, I have lots of patience. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to bottle it and sell it.
Please do. Please do.
Because it's like, this one's a little tricky for some people, because I've heard people that work with me, sometimes they're like, how did you do that so calmly and patiently? I do have a lot of, let's say, grace and patience. It's who I am. So with that said, I want to share what patience does. Patience as an event planner brings things to a calm down. If someone's overly excited around you and you come in with that patience, it's to bring it to the calm down. It's to handle situations without going buck wild, right? You're being hired as a professional to bring the whole team of event professionals, to the calm down and to work together as a team to make this event happen. So if you as an event planner are just going, you're too high energy and you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to, collaborate and all that, and have that essence of patience and calm, then how is everyone going to work together? So for me, if I know that I'm reaching a level that I can't get to that, oh, I can't speak to this person right now. That's why I have a team. So we kind of switch roles and I'll assign people to certain things and keep it going. But for the most part, I am able to communicate with everyone and bring things to a calm down without me even doing it on purpose. It just happens because of my voice, because of my tone, because of me understanding that if my tone goes higher, then everybody else's tone is going to go higher. So you need to understand whether this is what you want for your business and what you want to be known for and what your brand is, because this is now my brand. My brand is inclusive of having that patience and that grace and different ways of communicating to bring things to a calm down. So you don't have to have all three, to recap, you don't have to, but at least two.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for me, I resonate with those three. When I'm planning an event, I find that, yeah, I do have passion for this. I have patience, and I'm very persistent about getting things done, getting it done as best as possible, of course. So it is important. I think that you say two is fine. I would say three. It is what you need. So three P's.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
So with all your sharing, what is next on the horizon for you? Are you planning a second edition of the book? Are you planning a whole new one? It's planning a TV show. I don't know, something. What's going on?
Well, TV show. Wow. I've been staying away from those for some reason. I keep saying no, but we'll see what. I guess it has to be the right fit,
Of course.
the right thing for me. Well, after the book, one of the other things that I did want to do was I was deciding between audio or video. So I flipped a coin and it became a video. So I started a video podcast and podcast in the way that I felt that was necessary for me to create that platform. And so I have a podcast on YouTube that I share. And so that was a huge step for me as well. Not so much the knowledge and what I'm sharing, because that I know. It was just being there, having, the visual there. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. But then again, I'm doing it right here. So,
Right.
so I'm putting it together like I'm talking to you, the person who wants that knowledge. So I wanted to put that out there into the atmosphere and the platform. So I have that on YouTube, Classy and Inspiring. Then I have in the works. It's just, again, it took me 5 years to make this book. Now I do have in the works a few other languages that it's going to come in. I thought it was just going to be one language, which was going to be Spanish.
But Time Events by Jacqueline is worldwide. Why
it is.
English?
So yes, I don't want to do a spoiler. So I will say it's going to be in multiple language other than Spanish. And when it comes out, you'll see the other languages. And I'm really excited. It was something that I wasn't looking for. It was just some colleagues that came forward and they're like, we would like to do this with you. And so I'm like, why should I say no? It's like I'm spreading my information in other languages. That's like mind blowing to me. So I'm excited about that. I just had a moment there because I had to think about my dad would be really, really excited. But yeah, it's really exciting with that. And then I am working on a course. It's halfway through or almost 3/4 of the way through. So I do have a course that I'm finalizing, and then it's going to be just reviewed. And then I'll have that out too. So it's a course that's affiliated with the book. So it's, to me, that's the second part of the book. And I feel that there could be another book in a different format. But for right now, what I'm concentrating on is the course and then taking it from there. And then, of course, with me this past year, and leading into this year, in addition to being an event planner, being also the CEO of a wedding association has been a really interesting piece in my life. And it was something, again, that I was not looking for, but so exciting. I'm looking forward to taking it to the next level. And it's been really rewarding for me. So I'm looking forward to sharing more and more of that development. There's going to be a lot of great things coming up soon for that. So I'm excited about that too. So that's where all my energy is going in right now.
That's a whole lot, Jackie. I hope you have a good stash of Bustelo because
I do, the big one.
Good. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on, but really exciting things. I'm really happy for you, and I'm excited to see when it all comes about. So great things.
So stay tuned, because I'm hoping this year will be the Spanish one, and either between this year and next year will be the other two. So I'm really excited about that. And the Spanish one is taking longer, and I'll share this. only because even though Spanish may seem like, oh, it's just Spanish, there's so many, because I'm international, my book is going to different countries, and one word to one country may be a whole different word for another. So if you do find a word in there, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything bad. It's just translation is very, very difficult. It may seem easy, but me speaking in different countries, I was able to learn that. And even learning as a child growing up, in my college years and things like that, as I developed more in translation and understanding the different languages, that one word can be really an insult in a different country, yes, even though it's a Spanish, language. So, but I would like to ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
As a reader of the book, like what were your favorite parts, and what kind of motivated you or inspired you?
Well, I love that you put little the little battery
power notes.
Yes, that was nice, and a place to put notes. I think that's important because a lot of us do tend to write in the book. I like having a space to write, so thank you for that. And I have to say that the thing that I keep going back to is the 3 Ps, because I feel like you went to a place where most people don't when it comes to trying to figure out where you should be in your career path. And it just, as I said before, I resonated with it. I thought about who I am outside of that world, how I would have thought, oh no, this is not for me, until I got in it and realized I am those 3, or I have those 3 keys rather. So I felt like that was one of my favorite parts. And my next favorite part is definitely your future telling, because I was a little freaked out. I was like, what in the world? Does she know the lottery number?
You don't even want to know what I had there before. It's like, it was so, I had to read it like a million times because it was so intense.
No, now there's so much curiosity. And the thing is, I'm driven by fear. So it scares me a little to think of all the changes, but I'm like, no, I gotta go.
And I won't say that it's not scary. It's just embracing your fear, like with anything, right? With anything that you're afraid of, it's embracing. It's like taking a time to understand what you're afraid about.
Right.
And, what I want to put out there is to people is, don't be afraid that, machines are taking over your life. For now, it's just embracing the moment and understanding. And if you want to be a part of history, more power to you, be a part of history. But I'm a part of learning and understanding life and, making decisions, what works for me and not. Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope that if you didn't pick up my book, The Creative Life of an Elite Event Planner. Yes, accountant is crossed off if you didn't pick up a book yet. And that's because I was an accountant in my prior life. And earlier on in my career, that was my first career. But The Creative Life of an Elite Event Planner. And stay tuned for more that's coming up. Visit classyandinspiring.com for information on the book, how to get it. It is on Amazon. It is on Kindle as well if you want to download it. And yeah, there's so many different platforms. If you want information on my podcast, on anything that I do, speaking, if you want to hire me for a speaking engagement, or if you're looking for an event planner, everything is on classyandinspiring.com. Take care, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope to keep you posted soon. So follow me also on Instagram, ClassyJV, for updates. Take care. Bye.